Harper and Harper Audio present Anomalies 53, Into the Shadows, by Angela Cervantes. Performed by Alejandro Antonio Ruiz. To all those finding magic within a world of shadows. Prologue. Hidden behind a concrete pillar, Ollie Robles shuddered as uniformed trappers stormed into Area 53, dragging a muzzled wyvern. Hollering orders back and forth, they pulled the winged beast inside the Anomalies station where mythical creatures were kept. Ollie couldn't tear his eyes away. The wyvern's leathery frame barely fit through the hallway, no matter how much they yanked and prodded. The wyvern's massive tail had been coiled and tied with metal straps, and its wings as massive as sails pinned back. It hobbled on two muscular legs that were cuffed tight, cutting into its tough skin and leaving thick beads of scarlet-red blood along the floor. The wyvern slumped down, its huge eyelids drooping as if it had been drugged, and one of the trappers struck it hard with a metal electrical prod that sizzled hot blue. The wyvern groaned in agony. Ollie cringed. He searched for his dad among the group of scientists who watched from a safe distance. Certainly he wouldn't be cool with this type of abuse against an anomaly. The trappers continued to maneuver the beast toward a titanium holding pod, where it would be locked up indefinitely. They were mere steps away when the wyvern let out a muffled cry that felt like a talon piercing Ollie's heart. He winced and looked away. "This isn't right," he said under his breath. Suddenly, a loud clatter of metal and panicked shouting followed. Ollie looked to see the cuffs around the wyvern's feet had shattered onto the floor. The wyvern was charging toward him, dragging several of the guards with it. Ollie flattened himself against the wall, closed his eyes tight. Soon, a warm breath whooshed over him, blowing his dark hair back like a turbo-strength hairdryer. Ollie opened his eyes and trembled. The wyvern was leaning in, only inches from his face. 1. Fire-breathing wyverns weren't really supposed to exist. Ollie Robles knew that. For most kids his age, wyverns only existed in video games or Hollywood movies. Most kids didn't know that hidden under the vastness of the Nevada desert, a highly classified institution was filled with all sorts of so-called mythical creatures. The military codenamed it Area 53, but 11-year-old Ollie called it home. And for a heart-stopping moment, as the floor thumped beneath Ollie's feet, a wave of panic swept through him.
"Did you feel that?"
He called out to his best friend, Garen, who waited at the opposite end of the hallway, twisting her body into a stretch.
"All I feel is bored,"
she answered, straightening herself and folding her arms across her chest.
"Throw the ball already."
"We shouldn't be here," Ollie said, stuffing the palm-sized homemade rubber ball into his pocket. Of all the stations at Area 53, why did Garen want to play a game of lightning catch where a number of mythical creatures, including a 30-foot wyvern, were locked away?
"I swear, of all the kids in the world to be stuck with at Area 53, why did I get Ollie Robles?"
Normally, Ollie would lob a goofy insult back at her, but instead, he eyed a glass-encased emergency alarm that was mounted to a wall midway down the hall. One stroke would alert the whole compound that there was trouble in the Anomaly station. He hoped he wouldn't have to break it open, because if he did, the emergency alarm case wouldn't be the only thing busted. He and Garen would be grounded for the rest of their lives.
"I'm serious. Something is moving, and there's only one creature big enough."
Ollie stopped himself. He didn't dare say aloud what he suspected. Only the wyvern could make the floor rattle. But that meant she was awake. Ollie shook his head and reassured himself that it wasn't possible. No way. Area 53 scientists, led by his dad, kept the wyvern heavily sedated with specially treated air that was pumped into its pod. Thump. There it is again.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?